So Donald Trump won the election and will be the next president of the United States. But how will this impact the AI industry when it comes to regulation? And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video is how I think Trump's presidency will impact AI in the next 4 years. So be sure to stick around to the very end. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm going to try my best to not make this video political at all. I despise every single person in office, and I'm going to stay in my lane of AI and just talk about how I think the reality of Trump's presidency will impact everything going on. Now, with that out of the way, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan, and my mission is to help you navigate the overwhelming world of artificial intelligence. And if you want to know what my favorite AI tools and prompts that I'm using for marketing and content creation, you can get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide. You can find the link for this below this video. But now let's dive back in on how I think Trump's presidency will impact AI. So I'm going to be covering several articles in this video, so I'll leave links to all of these in the video description below so you guys can access this and cross-reference what I'm saying. I did quite a bit of preparation before this video, so I'm not spitting out gibberish. I tried to go through some reputable sources. Now, this one comes from TechCrunch. This is kind of an overview on what they think Trump's victory could mean for AI regulation. They talk about Biden's approach with the AI executive order last year in 2023. They had a quote here that I found, and it was, Trump talked about AI, and he said, his policies would support AI development rooted in free speech and human flourishing, but declined to go into detail. Typical politicians, they just say things, they don't really go into details. But this is just a good high-level article here. So the very first thing I want to talk about when it comes to Trump's presidency and how this will impact AI going forward is his strong relationship with Elon Musk. Unless you've been living under a rock, it's well known that Musk has been a staunch supporter of Trump both vocally and financially. This picture right here from time.com shows him at Trump's rallies. I don't know how many he was at, but he's been at several Trump rallies, and he's also been very vocal on his X platform, or Twitter, if we still call it that. He's even made some AI-generated images here. This is from Grok or Flux One behind the scenes. You guys can look at his profile if you want to learn more and see what he's doing, but that's not the important part here. The important part is, regardless of what your feelings are about Elon Musk, what can't be denied is that he is a significant player in the AI space and AI advancements going forward, whether it's through his main company, Tesla, right? So think about all the stuff he's doing to change not only the electric vehicle market, but the automotive industry in general. There's all these things they talk about: code foundations, evaluation infrastructure, neural networks, autonomy algorithms. A lot of this stuff is over my head, and I'll leave this in the description below if you want to look into this in more detail. The thing that caught my eye was this Tesla bot. Now, this went viral on X. I don't know if you guys ended up seeing this video. This is the Tesla bot being tested in action. So it's walking through, it's doing actual, mundane tasks, putting things and putting like jars and like a bin there and walking over and carrying it. So they describe the Tesla bot here as basically like a humanoid robot capable of performing unsafe, repetitive, or boring tasks. Think about how something like that could impact the economy. So it remains to be seen here what's going to happen, but this is a significant thing when it comes to AI. He's also heavily involved in xAI, the company that developed Grok, the LLM, right? They're doing a lot more than just Grok. I don't know a lot about xAI, but it is a force to be reckoned with here, and they're definitely making some moves. And also Neuralink. I don't know if he's still involved in Neuralink. I know he was one of the early founders of this. So Neuralink is basically like a brain implant, a computer interface, fully implantable, cosmetically invisible, and designed to let you control a computer or mobile device wherever you go. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know a lot about this stuff. I just know that Musk is involved and that AI is definitely involved in whatever Neuralink is doing. So regardless, with all of that to be said here, that is the very first thing that I think will make a big impact in Trump's presidency is having Elon Musk at the helm of AI regulation, all the advancements going on in AI. I just think his relationship with Elon Musk is a really big deal when it comes to AI. So another important thing to mention when it comes to Trump's presidency and how this will impact AI relates to our relationship with China, and more specifically, these Chinese tariffs. I'm going to try to make this point quick because I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't know a lot about this. I don't know numbers. I don't know percentages. What I do know, based on what Trump has repeatedly said, is he is going to increase tariffs on Chinese imports. And so in my head, the first thing that comes to my thought process is A, this will probably negatively impact the Chinese economy, which could spur more tensions between the US and China. Think about Taiwan being thrown in the mix with Taiwan Semiconductor. And that's where I'm going with this point, is that this will likely disrupt the supply chain when it comes to AI hardware, like chips, for example, right? So I would recommend reading this article here from NPR. This does a pretty good job explaining a little more about what these tariffs mean, talking about Taiwan. But the reason I bring up Taiwan is because chips are such an integral part of AI hardware and how we keep advancing these AI models and AI technologies, that the US at some point is going to have to bring that production internally if we want to be able to compete. Because I don't know if you guys are aware, Taiwan Semiconductor, which is obviously based in Taiwan, I want to say they produce about 80 to 90% of all semiconductor chips right now in the world. And so in the US, what they're trying to do is bring semiconductor jobs and production on our own soil. You'll see the number of jobs is going up. This article from whitehouse.gov talks about how they have plants in Arizona. They started in 2021. North Carolina, they're going to make a semiconductor chip plant. And then they're going to start more ones here in 2024. But basically, the U.S. is continuing to invest in our own production of semiconductor chips, which are an integral part of AI hardware. So from what my perspective is overall, as I'm kind of rambling on here, is it remains to be seen what Trump is going to do with this investment in semiconductor production. I would assume he's going to continue this, but again, that could probably hurt our relationship with China even more. And the whole Taiwan situation is messy. Long story short, I just think that Trump's proposed increased tariffs on Chinese imports will have a detrimental impact on AI production. I'm not very optimistic about this one, like I was with Elon Musk. So it remains to be seen what will happen. So the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Trump's presidency and what this will do for AI relates on the topic of energy consumption and climate change. Now, this article here from nature.com does a pretty good job explaining this. It talks about high level, some of the AI stuff, talks about climate change a lot, health, et cetera, et cetera. So I was reading this a little bit before I wanted to talk about it. But I think the very first point to make here is that if you're not aware, AI consumes a ton of energy, right? So this article from Verge talks about current data center energy usage, try to say that 10 times, stands at around 460 terawatt hours in 2022, could increase between 620 and 1050 terawatt hours in 2026. So in a span of 4 years between 2022 and 2026, we're going to at least double terawatt hours. And this is just for data center energy usage. This doesn't count any other thing that we're doing that consumes electricity, which in the United States is really almost anything. And so it says right here, this is equivalent to the energy demands of Sweden or Germany. So let's think about this. Just data centers in the US alone that has a lot to do with powering AI models is going to take the amount of energy just to power Sweden or Germany as a whole. That is a ton of energy. And so this talks about Trump's policies, right? So again, I'm not a climate change advocate. I'm not an expert. I don't know much about the topic. But what I do know is that Trump is an advocate of fossil fuels drilling on U.S. soil, which in my opinion, in the short term will drive energy prices cheaper. And I think that's probably a good thing for AI advancement or AI models in the short term. But in the long term, I think this will have detrimental impacts on climate change. I'm not a climate change advocate by any means. I just think that this will negatively impact things in the long term. But in the short term, maybe for 4 years, who knows, this could drive energy prices lower, which would benefit AI advancements. I just think as a whole in the long term, this is probably a negative. That's my stance on all of this. But again, check out this article on nature.com. You can also look at this one on The Verge where it talks about how much energy AI is consuming right now. But overall, that's it, guys. I appreciate you if you've made it this far into the video. Be sure to leave a comment below. I want to hear what you guys have to think about all of this versus me just rambling on random points here. So if you found value, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, I hope you all have a great day.